friends. This is the third chapter. With this podcast. We're talking a lot about very important subjects, self-confidence, self-growth. And in this chapter, we are about to talk about self-love. Very, very, very important subject. So first of all, Becky, how are you in this beautiful, beautiful morning?
Thank you so much, Matty. And whenever somebody asks me about the self-love, I just get this feeling of, wow, I would like to go, everywhere where I'm asked to, just to talk about self-love, how important, essential is to understand it deeply down. And Matty, thank you for the opportunity because my dream is that they teach it in schools. It's very important.
Wow, how important it will be, or how good will be to teach this at schools. Do you imagine?
Yeah.
Because like at least my experience in school was like just comparing myself with others.
Exactly.
And this is undermine all your ability to love yourself. So let's start for the beginning for the people who doesn't know too much about it. Can you explain me what is self-love?
Yes. I think that I could say that self-love, there are many aspects, but the most important, which I'm in love with the Louise Hay programs, and the most important thing is to accept who you are and to support you. This is self-love. Because people, I will say it on the contrary. Usually people think that self-love comes from the ego mind, who I am. And that's not true. Self-love is a feeling in us that we are who we are, and that's so wonderful. We're feeling like we're the princess of God who created us, and I need to learn that and not be attracted of all what I experienced, but just choosing this wonderful energy feeling that I am who I am, and that's wonderful. That's self-love.
But can you give me a lot of details about it? Because today everybody talks about self-love, and everybody feels entitled about I don't know, a better life because I am me and I love myself and I deserve it. So sometimes they are allowed to, for example, spend much money that they have, or to live in, or to live, apparently live in a better life that sometimes is not. So it seems like it's a hollow that they want to fulfill. How you see it?
I was saying, just like you expressed now, a hollow. I liked it because there is a gap there in our lives that we need to put something. So we eat more, or we drink more, or we buy more, or we get addicted to, God forbid, all kinds of things in order to feel that I am who I am. And self-love is supporting you, accepting that you're doing the best you can, improving your knowledge about you, understand you, know you, and then you know what you need in order to get this wonderful feeling of self-love. It's not criticism. I will say it in a negative way, okay? It's not criticism, it's not judgment, it's not blaming you or blaming others, it's not feeling guilt. That's exactly what self-love means. Can you imagine if you couldn't criticize yourself? If you couldn't judge yourself? If you couldn't compare yourself with others? I think it's a wonderful feeling that you get at the end of the work, but it's a work. We have learned not to self.
I think you're right, because like sometimes, for example, you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see. You don't like who you are. You are like especially criticizing yourself, blah blah blah. You have like an inner voice, an inner dialogue. What can we do with this inner dialogue?
I think that to explain the inner dialogue, it's essential to feel good. Essential, because we're not aware. This dialogue inside us is like transparent. We're not really connected what we are thinking inside us, and we are talking all the time because we are thinking more than 8,000 thoughts a day. So what is an inner dialogue? Whatever I perceive, the way I perceive, I start inside me talking about it. And perception is one of the things that we need to learn, to perceive the good, to get used to perceive the good part of everything. There is polarity, there is up and down and inside and outside. So in this too, when I feel really bad, on the other side of the stick, I can find something to feel really good. And we have the control for that. We have the power of that, but we don't recognize our power. We lose our power every time we criticize ourselves or others. Every time we blame, we feel the guilt of things that, so many years ago passed, and we don't let them go. And then where is the place of the self-love? We need to clean ourselves from the inside. Usually people, I'm a woman, so usually I can say, talking about women, we see the world and we say, I would like this to be changed and that to be changed. And we are so connected to the outside us. And I feel it so strong. I was there, and I feel so strong in my coaching room that especially women, they come and it's like a bright light when they understand that criticism and judgment is trying to self me. I can self me. It keeps safe with good thoughts and not just judging others, you see? Because when I judge another person or I criticize, I say, I am better. We are all good. We're trying hard. And we need to know how to do it in an easier way. It's possible.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. I learn about you mostly about the mirror work. This is like Louis Hay signature, like the mirror work. And sometimes, like, especially as I said, when you look at in the mirror and you feel sometimes not good, or I'm going to use this word ridiculous, talking yourself in the mirror, telling you, I love you, and or at least I'm open to love you. And how can I change this perspective about it?
First of all, I'm addicted, a good addiction to the mirror, always with me, every place. Why? Because the mirror never lies. So when you look in yourself in the mirror, the first moment when you look at your eyes, that's the opening of the soul. At that first moment, you can feel many things or think about many things. In my coaching room, I always allow the person to be quiet and just look in the mirror, because we look at ourselves, to calm ourselves, maquillage and getting dressed, but we don't really look to the soul of us, and the mirror won't lie. So when I start saying, I love you, or with men, I usually do, I appreciate you, it's easier for them. And the lie comes in front of you, it's not true. You remember what I did and that, because there is the policeman inside that from the age of 7, 8, saying you're no good, you're no good. All the experiences of the past, they come to attack you. And I'm there to keep them safe and saying, it's okay. You can say, for instance, I am willing to love you. And I learned from Louise almost 26 years ago when I met her, that I can also say, was it any part in me that I like? And it's amazing how it breaks the ice and the people are more willing to do the work. The mirror work is essential to change.
you you talk about something very important. It's like the inner child, the concept of the inner child, and a lot of wounded inner child of the past
Right.
are start to scream when we look ourselves in the mirror. Can somebody heal their inner child, and uh, how can this affect the life, the present of the person to heal the inner child?
First of all, we have to know that the inner child are all those experiences in life since we came to this physical world that we haven't given the time to listen what is the need there. We created walls and walls and walls. So when I work with the inner child, as Louise taught me, Dr. Patricia Crane taught me, I like to mention her because she has a big part in my change. And I would say that the working with the inner child teaches you to bring yourself to the present moment. When you go through an experience that reminds you of your past, an experience with the inner child that you never attended, never forgave yourself for that, how did you attract it, what was there that you went through difficult issues with women, wow, many of them. The moment you're willing to look that, that's the moment when you take the control of your life instead of the inner child. When something pass you, or in your experience now, 20, 30, 40 years ago, it's now, you're feeling now. But that's only
Mm.
old feelings. It's not happening now. So I like to say, you drive. When something happens, the inner child drives for you. I can be 4 years old, 6 years old, and at the same time, I can say, my little girl, sit here with me, I love you. I will continue to control my life, but you are part of me. And this week, I was working with a lady that it was difficult for her to accept herself at that age. So many years ago, you can't imagine. And when I said to her, allow her to be, because she's part of you, of all your life, when you attend the pain, for a little moment, you go back one moment, and then I teach them to stop going to the past, leave the past in the past, just go forward. When you heal this part becomes part of the wholeness of you, and then your life changes.
But there's a confusion about it because a lot of people are or are stuck in the past, and there are different approaches to go to the past. Like, I should fight with the past, or I should just forget and forgive about the past and move forward. How it is work?
You
Or
know,
every case is different?
it's a very deep question. Thank you for the question. I'm very careful to answer. Most people maybe don't understand that whatever we go through, we have chosen to go through in order to manifest what we came here in this physical world to do. The manifestation idea. Maybe, Mati, one day we will talk about it, We have a blueprint. We have a plan inside us. We don't know. We forgot. So we are attracting situations in order to bring ourselves to the present moment and to the future. Bringing the past to the now, it's painful. Bringing the future to the now is wonderful. I would call the pain place and the wonderful freedom place. And I help people in a short session from all the sessions of the complete change, in a small session to work with the old inner child, to finish the situation, to become a part of the person who is today, and learn. It's a learning, and sometimes difficult to just concentrate on the present and the future. People have a need to tell me, but I remember that when blah, 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 blah. At that moment, I lose the focus and the choice to heal my life. Yes, I respect the inner child. Yes, I need to do the work in order to understand that he is a part of me. The moment I accept it, I go forward.
I have a quote of Louise Hay. Louise Hay says, "You've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." So I want to ask, how can someone practically shift from harsh self-judgment to gentle self-acceptance in daily life?
I love the question. I love to hear her quotes because they're so beautiful and so clear. The message is so clear. You have a choice. You have a choice. So the first step when they come to work with me in the coach room, the first thing is my question: why are you here? What is your goal? You know what, Mati? Most people, they will tell me a story of half an hour what they don't want. And they don't realize that you're bringing it again and again and again and attracting again and again and for the same. That's why nothing changes. When you come with a goal, to me, when you come with a goal, because it's always about you. That's the book that I wrote with Gennady Rice, everything is about you. So by saying that's what I want in my life, I'm done with where I was. I'm done with where I'm now. I want something different, better relationships, abundance in life, health, good health. Well, you have to know what you want. And the moment you know what you want, I will ask you the 4 amazing questions I've been working with. Are you interested to change your life?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Well,
Okay.
just a moment. That's not enough to be interested because are you motivated on the way will become a little bit harder? You will leave the motivation is not enough. Are you
Mm.
committed to do the work? And she says, or he says, yes, of course, I'm coming here, I'm paying a lot of money, I'm committed. And then I say, okay, you are going to become obsessed with your goal. Exactly as a baby. When a woman is pregnant, believe me, Mati, when a woman is pregnant, all the ideas around the pregnancy, pregnancy, pregnancy. Maybe a man who wants to buy a beautiful car and all day around is going with a beautiful car. That's the way we're going to talk about the obsession, positive obsession about your goal and see what happens in you because the goal is not important, but you will change while you work towards the goal.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, a big theme in your work is the willing to receive, like the affirmation, I'm willing to receive. Why so many people secretly feel they don't deserve love, money, success, and maybe affirmations, or how can affirmations help to reveal this true sense of deservingness?
I will try to make it short. When I went to Louise Hay to the workshop for the first time, almost 26 years ago, and I received the certification and I tried to teach it. I started to teach it, and people were really in love with the work. I had so many workshops. I remember that I couldn't teach it. I cannot teach something that I don't feel inside me. I was a no good one. That was my idea, a no good one. And when I don't appreciate who I am, then I don't deserve nothing, right? Maybe only the bad things in life. So the moment I changed through loving myself, I came back. I remember my father, who is not alive anymore with us, he said, what's that? All the kitchen was, I love myself, I approve of myself, I'm doing the best of myself. And he said, that's going to be your new life? And I said, yes, because I will stop suffering. It was then my back, really suffering from my back, and I changed. So it worked. So I know it worked. So it works. So affirmations, when I'm a no good one, why do I feel I'm no good one? I don't deserve anything in life. Nothing, no one promised me something. So this no good one, I attract again and again situations that are for people who feel like that. The affirmation is a new idea that by repetition with emotion, it's like putting seeds in in your conscious mind. You put seeds of I love and I deserve all good because I'm the daughter of God. And something inside me starts changing. I looked for many, many months, maybe even more than a year, the difference, because I teach also in Hebrew and it's very easy to find the difference in between I'm entitled to receive it and I deserve it. That's Louise A. Everything I need comes to me at the right time. Always I use this sentence from Louise A. Everything I need comes to me in the right time. The next step is to strengthen your faith. Your faith is like a muscle in your subconscious. And when you strengthen through exercises the faith, then one day you look at the mirror and you say, I deserve good. I do like Luisa told me. Every morning I open the window outside in the terrace, in the back of the house, and I open my arms and I say, I deserve all good because I'm alive, because I'm your daughter, God, and you know you want to give me, to take care of me. And repetition with emotion will strengthen your faith with actions. And the first action is to accept the idea that you are amazing.
Mm, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, some people say that affirmations feel fake. From your perspective, how can we craft self-love affirmations that feel believable or embodied or emotionally real instead of hollow?
If you have lived for, I work also with 16, 18, 20, 50, 40, 60, 70, 80, doesn't matter. When you have believed an idea for so many years, it's like you say, carved in you. I like to think a tattoo, in your heart. That's the way you know how to think. So when you do an affirmation, you have to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and then you start repeating it with emotion, and you start imagining it, and then bingo, you are called to do something and something happens. And you know what happens is that people, like I said at the beginning, they are interested and then they're willing to, and then they're motivated because they are suffering. But the first time they have to look in the mirror every day for 5 minutes, that's too much. They are motivated, but they're not really committed, and it hasn't been an obsession. To be happy, to feel good, to live a good life, all the days of your life, every day. It's a new day. How are you going to use it?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we are finishing the chapter, but I want to Luce often spoke about making your mind a safe place to live. And what does this look like in practical terms to build an inner environment of kindness, patience, or encouragement? And how does that change everything on the outside?
Mati, when you accept the idea that everything starts inside us, we never knew that. We knew that I want to change this and I want to change this and I cannot be happy because of this. The moment you decide that you will change your life by changing from the inside out and bringing new experiences, at that moment that you accepted the idea, you start planting seeds of loving you by repetition, of accepting who you are, of during life, we have so many moments that are really, really, could say, challenging and even difficult. And always finding one spot that would help me to grow. You are already moving from I would say, the bondage, pain, fear, anger, and a life of really bondage. Really, you are like in prison and going towards to freedom because you can choose the life that you want.
Some last words for people. A lot of people who is watching this is struggling with self-love. Some cases are more harder than others, but
Right.
like most of people struggle with this. What would you say to these people who is listening right now?
I would say to all of them, decide that you want to change your life. That's the first step. Second step, ask yourself, what is it that I would really like to live? What way? In which area, one area in my life, it's not working the way I would. And the person could say, in every area, but you cannot change everything. You change one spot, and it's like at a puzzle. It starts changing your life from the inside outside, and you are attracting different situations. I am here to help everyone with this first stop to accept the idea and to find the goal and to move you forward. Please contact me. I would love to do that.
Well, Becky, I see you next week. I hope that our viewers enjoy this chapter and apply this concept to have a better life, because loving yourself is to start to living a good life.
Right.
So thank you very much. And we talk next week. Yalla.
Thank you, Mati. Yalla, thank you. Thank you.